Hey all. I'm here to talk about a serious subject tonight, and it's something that doesn't really get talked about much in the States, but I think that this is a really major problem and issue. Sorry about the background. Hopefully it's not too distracting with me moving around. Let's see. But anyway, it has to deal with workplace bullying. And there's also academic bullying. So I want to talk about them both. I'm not sure if I want to talk about both academic and workplace bullying in the same episode because there's differences. And I want to say that here I lived in Europe for a long time, but whenever I would come back to Portland, Oregon, not Portland, Maine, I experienced workplace bullying. I experienced workplace bullying in a kind of a white discriminatory situation at Kaiser. And then I also experienced black discriminatory, black on black um, bullying at Legacy Emmanuel. And then there's another place that I recently, because these were like close to like in the 90s and in the early 2000s and stuff like that. But there's another place, and I'm not going to say the name of it because it involves whistleblowing stuff. And it was involving black on black bullying. And they destroyed my career. This place completely destroyed my career. Okay? And, it's just crazy. But anyway, the bullying is, to me, a bigger problem than discrimination. Because at least with discrimination, you can try to file a complaint and a lawsuit, which is not going to go anywhere for the most part because it's, I don't know. I won a discrimination lawsuit in 1981, and that was the only one I won. And here in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon, I had to file a lawsuit against just about every employer I have ever worked for. And the lawsuit that I won in 1981 was the only one that I actually won. And that was because that was before the state of Oregon got hip and decided, oh no, it's too easy to prove discrimination. So we're going to do all these loopholes and stuff, and no one's going to be able to do it. I mean, I have met people who won discrimination lawsuits, but what they did, like the girl who does my hair, she won a discrimination lawsuit, but she was in a union, okay, and she drove to Seattle and met with the EEOC in person, and so I feel so much safer in Europe. I've never experienced the bullying and the discrimination that I have in Portland, Oregon. So I had some weird thing happen to me in Beverly Hills, but I can't really speak about all kind of other states and cities in the United States to see how this goes. But I could tell you, Portland, Oregon, bully. If I had to assess it, I would say bully capital of the United States. I had my career crushed, crushed by two major employers. And when you go to file complaints about these people, they have such deep pockets. They have deep pockets. Deep pockets to the point that discrimination is a figment of your imagination. By the time you get done, or by the time they get done with you, and I have spent thousands of dollars myself going against these organizations, but there's no competition. These people have money. They have millions of dollars that they spend in legal counsel. So you might as well just forget it. But but the deal is, aside from the discrimination stuff in Oregon, let's go to the workplace bullying. Okay? There's no way to prove it. There's no way to prove workplace bullying. You have these supervisors, you have lead investigators and research centers that, I mean, when I was working for this one research center, I applied for all these different trainings, like for EPIC and for all these different types of like statistical programming. No, no, you don't need that because of this. You don't. Your position doesn't require that. Blah 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 blah. And so I never got. I mean, I not even one training for any, not even one. Okay. Then I said, I gotta get out of this. This is a toxic team, a horrible place. I gotta get out of here. I applied for over 30 positions trying to get away. I couldn't get out. And human resources, they didn't help. They weren't concerned. Um, they claim about, you look in the, for these companies, you always see diversity. Oh, we're looking for diversity. What is it? Inclusion, diversity, and equity. Oh, right? Really? They don't care about any of this stuff. Those programs are risk management programs to keep them from getting sued. Another deal is employee assistance programs. Confidential? Yeah, confidential, all right. So the organizations, they set up this stuff so that they can get personal information. Well, so they can get information about your personal life. And so if something comes down to you filing a lawsuit for discrimination or some kind of workers' compensation claim for stress or something like that, they subpoena these confidential files. And then they say, oh, no, 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 no. We aren't the cause of the stress and the anxiety. It's their home life. You see, they are in a domestic abuse situation, or they're going through a divorce, or their children are unruly, or blah, 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 blah. That's what happened to me. And the person who, when I was at Kaiser, the employee assistant person was my best friend. But then when we went to meet with my team to discuss the issues, she was all about them. All about them. And I had a child. My child was the same age as the lead investigator. Our children were born within weeks of each other, if not days of each other. I can't even remember. He took like 3 months off for like paternity leave. Paternity leave. Can you imagine? I wasn't working there that long. So I took 3 weeks off, and that was it. From the time that I took off, had the baby, and came back to work, it was a span of 3 weeks. And when I came back, I'm telling you, the bullying and the harassment was non-stop. It was daily. Daily. Once everyone left, quit, because one girl quit because she said, Kaiser, she had a 2-year-old little daughter. And she says, this place is so kid unfriendly. I gotta get out of here. So she quit. And so we were understaffed. So I'm working. They had me working 8 days in a row. And my parents were helping me with the babysitting. But still, my parents aren't going to be babysitting to, I mean, they have a life. They had a life. So I said, well, my parents are busy. It's the weekend. Well, bring the baby. So I brought my daughter. This one girl who was such a troublemaker, she went and complained. But the same person who told me to bring the baby, she complained to. So when I come to work the following Monday, I get called and reprimanded and told not to bring my daughter to work. Like I wanted to bring a child to work. I did not want to bring a child to work. I did not want to work 8 days straight. They are the ones who asked me to work 8 days straight. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, the harassment was just every day. You had to kind of go through this security entrance thing, like those double doors, like get smart stuff. And so when I would come to work and I was going through those doors, I would be like, what are they going to find that I did wrong today? And like clockwork, it was something. And I wrote the template. I wrote the template for the report when we did the interviewing and we did assessments. I wrote the template. But they said, the guy looked at the template and he said, oh, this is really good, but nah, we can't use it. And so they hired this other girl from an outside firm, and her English was, her and this other girl, their English was not, they weren't writers. I was a writer. I wrote, I was working in Europe even before I went to work for them. And I was translating documents from French and Italian, technical and scientific documents into English. Stuff from Desert Storm. Okay? So I know how to write. I know how to write technical reports. But they didn't want to use my stuff. And then I also did the interviews when we did these clinical reports. I got mine. We timed them. They were taped. And I always was finished within 15 to 20 minutes. Everyone else took 25, 30 minutes. And I would sometimes get into a little small talk with the clients, with the patients I was interviewing, but we have this technique where you do a little chat and you say, oh, well, we'll talk about that later. But right now, let's get to the survey. Who got reprimanded for small talk? Even though I got all my interviews done quicker than anybody on the team. And there's other stuff I saw, stuff that was left on the printer. Oh, I'm going to talk about that. I mean, I don't want to get myself, because this whistleblowing stuff could really get you hurt. I don't want to go too deep into that, but I will say that I saw something. I saw something that was a complete lie that was sent for a grant. And of course, I wasn't selected to be on the team. A person was selected to be on the team who didn't have the credentials that I had, but somehow on the application she had the credentials. This person didn't have a master's degree, but on the application she had a master's degree. You see what I'm talking about? And the bullying is like, I was even called into the office. This is at Kaiser. And I was told by the supervisor, well, you don't really fit on the team. You're not really, one of us. Told straight up like that. And this was years ago. This was 20 years ago, in fact. Okay? So it's dead and gone. It's over. There's nothing about it that can be revived. But one thing I'm going to say about what's going on now in terms of workplace bullying is that this word fit. Fit is click talk, is click speak. And whether or not you click with an organization, I'm sorry, not click, whether you fit with an organization or you fit with a job or you fit with a position is neither here nor there. The red flag is the word fit. Do you fit? Fit means click. Fit means click. And that's how American organizations function. Clicks. Okay? And if you do not, come up to their standards, meet their standards, that's you. And you got companies. I named a couple companies. There's a place I won't name because, to tell you the truth, I'm scared. You know what I mean? I said the names of these other two places and I'm even kind of scared of them. Because the way they did me, they didn't care I had a little 1-year-old child. They didn't care that I had to put food on the table. These places don't care that you have to pay rent. They don't care that you need to feed yourself, that you might need health care. They don't care. They do not care. All they care about are their bullying and their cliques. And even the one girl who was the hatchet man against me, and I know she didn't want to do it. She kind of even hinted to me she didn't want to do it, but she had to do it. This girl, this is what I heard. Get this. She got breast cancer. So she was always reprimanding me and harassing me, and then she eventually fired me. After she told me she thought I was one of the smartest, most intelligent people she ever met. She gets breast cancer. When she's in the hospital, after getting, whatever, those, I can't even remember what the name of those things, the mamma, oh gosh, I'm sorry. I should know this, but I don't. I'm sorry. But she had breast cancer and she was in the hospital getting treatment. The bully lead investigator who ordered her to give me trouble eliminated her position. Do you see how people do? And human resources, they didn't help me. They didn't help me. No one helped me. I asked some of my coworkers, but they were like, oh gosh, I can't. I got problems at my house. One of my friends had a husband who was always manhandling her. I had another friend whose husband and, oh God, this was a criminal offense stuff that happened. It was awful. It was awful, So they can't get involved in this stuff. Then there was a black supervisor who was working with them against me. So when you try to file the discrimination lawsuit, they say, well, there's another black person working there who they're not having any problem, and they even said that you were doing this and that and that. You see what I'm saying? So it's not discrimination. It's not diversity and exclusion. I mean, it has those elements, but workplace bullying, it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. And I don't know how, we have this term, fit. Fit is a red flag for bullying and cliques. I don't know how we are going to get rid of it. My life was completely crushed and ruined by several bullies and their cliques. The only thing I can offer is support and advocacy for people who are going through this bullying and going through the bullying or have gone through the bullying. There's nothing I can do. I'm not an attorney. I do have a doctorate degree. Yes, finally I got one about 15 years after I would have normally gotten one because I was so shut down, But I picked myself up somehow and got myself going again. But, we need to have an advocacy group. We need to have support for us people who have been bullied in the workplace. It's not right. It's not professional. Um, there's no dignity to it. People like this, they don't have integrity. Uh, Human resources is often an enabler. I really don't know. What do we do? But we have to speak up and we have to say something. You know, we have to. And hopefully, people will be treated with respect and kindness, and their skills and abilities will be recognized, because this silly high school behavior is ridiculous and it hurts people. It hurts people. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we will talk again.